Hello students, how are you all? I hope you are happy and healthy. After half-yearly examination, we are meeting again and I welcome you all in our English grammar class. As you all know, we have studied all the things which we have done at least 12 chapter and 18 chapters also. And we have completed lots of things in grammar, writing sections we have completed, and we have completed parts of speech and sentences. And today we are going to start a new concept which is voice. So today we are going to learn what is voice and how many parts of the voice and how we are going to use with it, what are the rules to change in the different kind of voices. So first of all, I welcome you once again. After a long time we are meeting again, and it's so wonderful to meet you again, and I hope in this session you will study well and you will get good marks and you will learn a lot from the grammar videos. So let's start the new chapter, that is voice. First of all, we should know what is voice. Voice is the quality of verb which indicates whether the subject acts or is being acted upon. So voice is that form of the verb which indicates whether the subject is the doer of the action or something is being done to it. So that is called voice. And the voice having two parts, or you can say the two types of voices. First is active voice and second is passive voice. So first of all, we should know what is active voice. Active voice, the voice used to indicate that the grammatical subject of the verb is performing the action or causing the happening denoted by the verb. For example, the boy hit the ball. Now here you can say active voice is appropriate. Active voice adds clarity and places responsibility where it belongs. Active voice can make our writing more vivid. So I'm going to give you more example about active voice. And here one thing you should always remember, the subject in a sentence in the doer of an action in many cases. Verb in a sentence which require a direct object to complete their meanings are called transitive verb, as you all know. So I'm giving you one example. Namita sang a song. Now Namita is a subject over here and sang is a verb and a song is an object. So first of all, we should know how to form a sentence. A sentence always having a subject, verb and object. Sometimes it is not having an object, that is called intransitive verb. But in transitive verb, it is required to have an object always, because we should not call this transitive verb without an object. So this rule you have to always keep in mind, that in active voice there should be a sentence which is having an object. Then we are supposed to make active to passive voice. So first of all, in this sentence you can see the boy hit the ball. Who hit the ball? The boy. The boy is here a doer, or you can say a subject. Hit is a verb because he is hitting the ball, and hit is a verb. and here, or you can say action, and the ball. The boy, what he hit? He hit the ball. Ball is a object over here because the action is going on, or you can say that boy is doing something or doing action on the ball. So the object is a ball over here. So first thing we should know that in transitive verb there will be a subject as doer and verb with an object. So then we will tell, or we will call it active voice. So we just always remember this. So active voice, when the subject of a sentence does an action, we say that the sentence is in the active voice. So let us learn about how to write a sentence. So if we are going to say Britney Spears sang a song. Now Britney Spears is a subject over here. Sang is a verb and song is a object over here. So Britney Spears sang a song. It means Britney is a doer, sang is a verb or action, and a song is an object. So the voice used to indicate that grammatically subject of the verb is performing the action. From definition of the active voice, you can see this, the voice used to indicate the grammatically subject of the verb is performing the action. So the subject is performing the action or causing the happening denoted by the verb. So the subject is doing some action, but on whom or with whom or on which object he is doing an action, that is a question. So always remember that appropriate word or sentence is that the doer and the action and the one object should be there. So that is the main concept of active voice. Now let's learn about second type of voice is passive voice. The voice used to indicate that the grammatically subject of the verb is the recipient, not the source of the action denoted by the verb. For example, the ball was hit. That I have given an example in the active voice also. The same example I am giving you again. The ball was hit. So, or you can write the ball was hit by the boy. So that you always remember. It's in passive voice always subject or doer will come at the end of the sentence and the object will become a subject of a sentence. So you can say it's a zigzag form. Subject is going at the last of the sentence, last word of the sentence, and the object become subject, or you can say the first word of the sentence. So this zigzag form you always remember. So I'm going to give you few more examples of passive voice. First of all, we should know in a simple language what is passive voice. When the subject is not the doer of an action, but something is done to it, the sentence is said to be in passive voice. Only sentence with transitive verb can be changed into passive voice. if it is not in transitive verb, so it cannot be changed. So in transitive verb, as I told you, that transitive verb always we are having an object, subject, verb and an object. So we should always remember that there is a zigzag formation. If the doer of an action is not known, for example, mother's purse was stolen. Who stole the purse is not known. So, the use of passive voice should be, the active voice is generally used while conveying an idea or thought, but sometimes the use of passive voice is required. So, the passive voice used in if the doer of an action is not known. If the doer of an action is not known, I have given one example, that if the doer of an action is not known, for example, mother's purse was stolen. Who stole the purse is not known. And the passive voice is used if the stress is more on action rather than the doer of the action. For example, a cucumber was chopped. So, the chopping of the cucumber is more important than who chopped it. So, if the stress is more an action rather than the doer of the action, so then we are supposed to use passive voice. And the third point, if the emphasis is on the thing or the person who received the action, for example, the letter was delivered. The letter is given important. So, the passive voice that time we are going to use. So, the features of active to passive voice. So, always remember while changing a sentence from active to passive voice, the following points have to be remembered. First, the object of the verb in the active voice becomes the subject in the passive voice. For example, Naman kicked the ball. The ball was kicked by Naman. Now here you can very clearly that object of the verb in the active voice becomes the subject in the passive voice, as I have already told you. So now passive voice is appropriate if the action is more important than the agent. If the agent is not known, to connect idea in different clauses or sentences more clearly. So that time we are supposed to use passive voices. So let's see the sentence structure. Construction of the active voice. Now, as I already told you, the construction of a active voice, the subject will be there, that you are just know this, that subject is a doer. Now the verb and then an object. Now construction of the passive voice. How we are going to construct? That first of all the subject and then auxiliary verb and the main verb. So, for example, fish is eaten by cat. Now here you can see subject, modal with auxiliary verb be, main verb, past participle. So always remember, whenever we are making active to passive, that time we are always remember the object of the verb in the active voice become the subject in the passive voice. Now I am going to tell you the general rule according to the tense. How to make in present tense. If in active voice it is written in the present tense. How we are going to write in passive voice these present tense. So always remember that we are supposed to use past participle in the verb, and In present tense, if it is written take, so in passive voice, it will become is taken. Now in present tense, if it is written takes in active voice, so it will become are taken. Now in present continuous tense, am taking, it is written, so is being taken. So being will be there and the past participle will be there. And in present continuous tense, if it is written is taking or are taking, so it will become are being taken. So in passive voice, we are supposed to write being. If the inactive voice sentence in present continuous tense. So always remember, when we are making present, simple present tense in active voice to passive voice, so always is will be there, auxiliary verb will be used, helping verb will be used, and after that past participle. And takes, if it is written takes, so are taken will be there. Auxiliary verb must be used. Now in present continuous tense, when we are supposed to use active to passive, supposed to make active to passive, then am taking, if it is written, so we will write is being taken. Is taking, are being taken. So being will be there. Being and the past participle in the verb. And are taking, if it is written, so are being taken. Now present perfect tense. To make active to passive in the present perfect tense, so always remember has taken, it will be written in the active voice, we will change in has been taken in the passive voice. If it is written have taken, then we will write in passive voice have been taken. So these are the rules to change in the tenses in active to passive. Now in the past tense. Past tense, if it is written took, so verb is written in the past tense, simple past tense. So we are going to write was taken, and if it is written in the plural subject agreement, so we will write in passive voice were taken. Past participle will be there with the auxiliary verbs. Now past continuous tense, how to make? If it is written was taking, so in passive voice was being taken. If it is written were taking, then we are going to write in passive voice were being taken. Being will be there in the continuous tense. If it is written past perfect had taken, so we are going to write had been taken. So these are the rules to make active to passive in past sentence. Now we are going to learn about how to write active to passive voice when we are supposed to change. So how to change the tenses in future tense. So if it is written in simple future tense in active voice will take or shall take, so in passive voice we will write in simple future tense will be taken and shall be taken. Be will be there and after that past participle. Now in simple future, or you can say simple future continuous tense. I am going to take a cake, she is going to take a cake, and going to. So these are called infinitive. Now in infinitive active voices, we are supposed to write in passive voice cake is going to be taken by me. Two cakes are going to be taken by her. Cake is going to be taken by them. Now in the future perfect tense, if it is written in future perfect tense, will have taken. So in the passive voice we are going to change will have been taken. So this we always keep in our mind. How to make or how to change in the tenses in active to passive voice. Now we have talked about how to change tenses. Now we are going to learn how to change the pronouns So in active voice it is written I, so it will become by me. And in active voice if it is written we, so in passive voice we are going to write by us. You, if it is written you, in active voice it will become by you. He by him, she by her, it by it, they by them, and so on. Now often passive voice statement will contain a preposition by. So by we often use to make passive voice. So whenever we are going to change active to passive, so always remember past participle, auxiliary verb will be there and auxiliary verb will be changed, as I have learned in the tenses, we have learned in the tenses, and the you can say the nouns to pronouns it will be changed. So always remember if it is written I, it will become by me. By will be there always. Active to passive whenever we are going to make. So the subject, if it is written I make a chapati. So in passive voice, how we are going to change pronoun? So it will become me. So the chapati was made by me. By me. So I made chapatis. The chapati was made by me. So this concept you always remember. By will be there, and after that I will become me, we become us, and you become remaining same you, and he will become him by him, and she by her, and it will be it, and they will become them. So the changes in the pronouns always remember. So I will become me. So this concept you just learn, because we are going to change if we are making active to passive voice, we are going to change in the tenses, and after that we are going to change in the pronouns also. So that table you have to learn. Now we are going to talk about modals. If in the active voice it is written modals and it is written should, can, could, may, might, must, ought to, so how we are going to change in the passive voice? So if it is written should take, we will change in passive voice should be taken. If it is written can take, so in passive voice we are going to change can be taken. If it is written could take, so it will change in passive voice could be taken. May take, may be taken. Might take, it will become might be taken. Be will be there. Whenever we are changing in modals, active to passive voice, if it is written modals in active voice, we are going to change in passive voice with be and past participle, and that modals will be remain same. Might will be begin, might take will be, we are going to write in passive voice might be taken. Must take, must be taken, and ought to take, ought to be taken. So these modals you should always keep in it. They are not going to change in passive voice, but be will be there and past participle will be there. So active to passive voice, should take become should be taken, can take will become can be taken, could take become could be taken, may take become may be taken, might take might be taken, must take must be taken, ought to take ought to be taken. So we just give a very slight change in the passive voice. So modals remain same, but in passive voice we should add be and past participle with the modals. So these are the rules to change in modals in passive voice. Now passive of imperative sentence. if the active sentence is given, active voice is given in imperative sentence, how to change in passive voice? So if it is written command, so then let plus subject plus be or not and then past participle. For example, shut the door. If it is written shut the door, so it is command. So now in passive voice, let the door be shut. Now let will be there and then subject, because door is the subject over here, shut the door. So door will be there and be must be there and then shut. So the concept, or you can say the rules to change the commands in the active to passive voice, if it is written command in active voice shut the door, so how we are going to change? The rule is there, let and then subject and be and then past participle. So it will become let the door be shut. If it is request, so request kindly help him. For example, it is written in active voice kindly help him. So in passive voice we are going to change you are requested to help him. Now you should understand that is these are the requesting words, the kindly, please, these are the requesting words. So it is request in imperative sentence. So always remember, whenever we are making passive voices in imperative sentences, then you are supposed to write you are requested to help him. So these are the rules to change commands and requests in imperative sentences in active to passive voice. Now one thing that we have already discussed, that the form of passive voice verbs, the passive voice requires a double verb. As we have learned that linking verb, or you can say the auxiliary verb, will be there. So am, is, are, was, were, be, being and being. So these are the linking verbs. So and the second, the main verb in the form of the past participle. So these are the linking verb or auxiliary verbs that we are going to use: am, is, are, was, were, be, being and being. These are the linking verbs we are going to use with the past participle. So you just always keep in mind, to make active to passive voice, we are always using double verbs. First is linking verb and then the main verb, which is always in past participle. So these are the rules that we always keep in mind. After that, I am giving a very short introduction. After we will discuss how to change present, simple present tense, active voice to passive voice. So let's see once again active and passive voice. Voices are two voices over there, active and passive. What subject does? The focus is on the action in passive voice. So active voice, Ram killed Ravan. So in passive voice we are going to write Ravan was killed by Ram. Because the active voice sentence is written in the past tense, so we are going to change in passive voice Ravan was killed by Ram. So that we always keep it in mind. Always remember, we should always see the sentence is written in which tense. Then accordingly we should change into passive voice. Now very common rule, it is written, bring the object first. Always you should remember that bring the object whenever we are making active to passive voice. So always remember, bring the object first and then choose the correct be verb, accordingly the active voice, and after that change verb into participle. Verb will be changed into past participle. So this you always remember. Add by and plus subject. So these are the rules. It is written, you can see in this clip also, she helps him. Now if we are going to make in the passive voice, so he is helped by her, because this sentence is written in present tense, she helps him. So in passive voice, whenever we are going to change, we just write down he is helped. Help is a past participle and by her, because by him. She help him, so she helps him. Now here you can see him is become he over here in the subject. He is helped by her. She is change in her. So object plus be, verb plus third form of the verb by the subject. So this rule you should always keep in mind. This is very important whenever we are making active to passive voice. Now here you can see how the subject and object change. I become me, we become us, you will remain you, they become them, he become him, she become her, Ram become Ram because the noun is there, and book will remain same because noun is. But the changes will be done in the only and only pronouns. Now let's see active into passive voice. I have already told you that there is a zigzag form. So zigzag form always keep in your mind because this is very important for you. And whenever we are changing active to passive voice, so always remember a zigzag will be there. The teacher asked a question. It is written in this picture. You can see the teacher asked a question. So here you can say a question is become a subject. In the passive voice, a question was asked by the teacher. Was asked because, why we are writing was asked? Because the active voice sentence is in past tense, simple past tense. The teacher asked a question. Now in the passive voice, we are going to change a question was asked by the teacher. So this you always keep in your mind. The subject of the active voice sentence, a question, become the subject of the passive voice sentence. The verb consists of the past simple form of the verb to be, was plus past participle of the verb in the active voice sentence asked. If we want to mention who performs the action, we use by the phrase by the teacher. So these are the rules you always keep in mind. From tomorrow onwards, we will start how to change present tense in passive voice. So we will start from tomorrow tenses, how to change in active to passive. But these are the formal rules that we always remember. There will be a zigzag form whenever we are using active to passive voice, whenever we are making active to passive voice. As we have discussed that we will change in the pronouns, and noun will be remain noun, but pronoun will be changed, past participle will be used, be will be there because linking verb we are supposed to use always whenever we are making active to passive voice. So we just have a review. So how to change active to passive voice in a simple form. Now from tomorrow onwards, we will talk about how to change in present tense active to passive, and past tense active to passive, and future tense active to passive. So let's review what we have learned today. Now we have learned today voice is the quality of a verb which indicates whether the subject acts or is being acted upon. Now in active voice, the active voice used to indicate that the grammatically subject of the verb is performing the action or causing the happening denoted by the verb. That is the main purpose of active voice, or you can say these are the definition of active voice. Now in passive voice, what we are going to do, the voice is used to indicate that the grammatical subject of the verb in the is the recipient, not the source of the action denoted by the verb. So these are the main topics that we have talked about today. Now from tomorrow onwards, we are going to learn that how to change active to passive voice in present tense. So that's all for today, and I hope you understood what is passive voice, what is active voice, and how to change in the modals, how to change in the pronouns, and how to change in the tenses. From tomorrow onwards, we will study how to change in the tenses, because this is very important, and this topic is very important actually. So that we will discuss in detail from tomorrow. So till then, bye-bye and take care. Thank you.